Hello friends, welcome back. So this is a new series on advanced Splunk journey. So in this I am going to cover the implementation of Splunk from scratch. So it will also give you the knowledge about the types of deployment uh, which supported by Splunk. So let's start. So there are a few types of deployment uh, is supported by Splunk standalone. First one is standalone. Standalone uh, is a deployment where all the components of Splunk installed on single server. We also called it as a uh, all-in-one server, all-in-one deployment, and generally it is used for testing purpose, testing POC or any kind of a learning. So most of the video which I prepare, I use standalone deployment. So just one thing before this video, you should have understanding of Splunk components. So I have created one video on Splunk component, so you will get better understanding of this tutorial or this video. So the next deployment type is distributed deployment. In the distributed deployment, uh, there is more than one component is separated to another component. Like say there can be one search head, multiple index and multiple search heads, and uh, to manage those distributed environment, there are few managers are there. So to manage cluster master, to manage indexers, we generally use cluster master, but cluster master again, it is not required in uh, distributed environment. uh, these can be handled by a deployment server. Similarly, uh, when we talk about search at distributed environment, so deployment server can manage it. So this is one of the type of deployment. So where more than one instance of Splunk is there, like as already explained, maybe there can be multiple indexer, multiple search heads, and so on. In cluster environment, uh, the cluster environment again is type of distributed environment with high availability. Where if we talk about index cluster, so data will be highly available on this. And when we talk about search head cluster, so search head cluster has high availability on Splunk GUI or Splunk user interface. Mainly when uh, when user is interacting with uh, Splunk, they will have a high availability on it. Also in searching or scheduled searches, reports, dashboards, all the things are high available. So the difference between distributed environment and cluster environment: distributors environment uh, need not to be highly available. So it's depend on customer requirement, whether like sometimes it has search it cluster and index cluster. Sometimes uh, search heads are in distributed environment, however the index layer is on uh, cluster environment. So all kind of uh, all kind of scenario can be there. It's totally depend on the customer requirement, what exactly he the customer want. So as per their requirement, we need to design our solution, whether it should be distributed or cluster environment. Again, in cluster environment there are multiple types, not multiple, two types. One is single cluster and single site cluster and multi-site cluster. So single site cluster, so it has only one site, or rather we can say one region. Multi-site cluster, uh, the Splunk deployment span to the multiple regions for the disaster recovery. So if we create a multi-site clustering, it will cover HA plus DR, disaster recovery also it covers. So we'll talk about these deployment in detail in further videos, where I one by one I am covering all these scenarios with the deployments. So stay tuned with me for the update. Stay tuned with me for, like, say, new deployment videos. So again, the next one is cloud, where most of the things are done by Splunk. So it is managed service. Splunk as a service, you can say managed service by Splunk, where a customer need not to bother about uh, actual code deployment of Splunk. Everything will be taken care by Splunk, Splunk support. So in this video, I am going to for now I am going to explain you about the uh, standalone deployment, where I'm going to show you how to install from scratch. So what all things I will cover in standalone. So standalone, first of all, what we need to do, log into the server. To log in, we need to have server ready with all the prerequisite. So first you need to get the server with all the prerequisite, what all ports are required, what all configurations are required. So it's not uh, uh, feasible for me to explain everything. You need to go to Splunk documents and check for the prerequisite. According to that, uh, you need to create your server. Or if you are not using cloud environment, so you need to ask infra team to build that server. what how many cores are required, what is the memory, what port should be opened, CPU and everything. So before that, like after you have server ready, you need to log into server, then create user, Splunk user, create group called Splunk, add user to sudo error file, then install wget. If you are directly uh, like your machine is directly connected to internet, then you can use wget. Uh, Using wget, you can download your package on uh, your instance. If you do not have access to internet, then you can download Splunk package from Splunk site, and then copy your Splunk package to Splunk server. where you are going to install Splunk. Now download Splunk package, next step, from the server. If then make directories opt Splunk. After that, give ownership to Splunk opt directory to Splunk user. Give ownership to Splunk package to Splunk user. Now after that, log into Splunk user and then untar the package in opt Splunk directory. After that, you need to I have not mentioned two or three steps. Then you need to accept the license uh, with few of the options. Then you need to provide admin user and user username and password. uh, After that, you need to do bootstrap start on bootstrap Splunk. That is very important. Also, in this, you need to keep in mind that you should not install uh, Splunk with root user, with because of this I have created I'm going to show you uh, I'm going to show you to create a user as Splunk, and I'm going to install Splunk with user Splunk. So I want to say that Splunk should not be installed with the root user. Okay, let's start to install Splunk. So let's start with the installation. I have logged into this machine. This is called instance 1. So I already done sudo su. Now the next command I will run, add Splunk. User is added. Add group. So this is already exist. Group is already there. Change the password for set a password for Splunk. Retype the password. So I created it. Now what you need to do is sudo hc sudo s edit, go to root, search for root. Now here you need to insert Splunk. I'm giving all the access, but you need to be careful in production environment. Give limited access to it and save it. Now Splunk user has all the access as root user. So, but in actual production environment, you need to give limited access to this user. Now, next one is, as this instance is added to as this instance is added to internet, I can access the few of the utilities or few of the required utility directly from the instances. So yum install wget. This command will require uh, wget is required generally to get Splunk package or any package from the internet. So let's till the time, let's go to the next command. Yeah, we are on the right track. Then we need to copy this. So I am using the older version of Splunk. So let's wait until it's get completed. So we are almost done with the installation. Okay, now we'll clear the screen and download package from Splunk site. So your download is in progress. This will fetch, this will download Splunk package to your instance. Like when you do ls-ltr, it will give you the package name. Now what you need to do, go to opt ls, nothing is there, mkdir Splunk. Now again go back to root where we have package already, ls. Now give ownership to Splunk user Splunk group with recursive to Splunk. So to Splunk directory. Also give ownership to Splunk directory as Splunk package. To Splunk. Now ls-ltr, you can see here it is root. Now it changes to, now it changed to Splunk. What is the next step? What this is done, this is done. Now change the ownership or change the user to Splunk. Now I'm Splunk. Now as we have the ownership, then just we need to do tar to opt. Okay, what is the issue? Error recovery exists, permission deny. Okay, maybe I do not have permission to opt directory. Let's do one thing, let's move this file ls-ltr to move Splunk to opt and go to opt. Let's see. Okay, we'll go, yeah, now we'll do Splunk, su Splunk, and try to run the same command. Let's see what happens. Should work. Yeah, it is working now. It is extracting the package or extracting all the required files into opt directory. Now opt Splunk. One more thing we can do. Let's see if it everything is there with Splunk user. Yeah, everything is installed with the Splunk user. Now what we need to do, we need to accept the license with the agreement. So what you can do is we need to start the Splunk with accepting the license. If you don't give these commands, if you don't give these commands, it will ask you uh, during the installation. So it's better to give this command. So then it will ask for the setting up the admin password, username, password. Give the username and then password. Okay, it is starting now. Good. So now we'll check the status. Splunk bin Splunk status. So Splunk is running. Now the important thing we need, it boot start. So this we need to enable whenever Splunk goes, like say Splunk the server is restarted, it will automatically start Splunk as well. Okay, permission denied. So what you can do, you do not have permission to this specific directory. So what you need to do, exit, run the same command with the user Splunk. Should work. Okay, now again su Splunk and restart Splunk. So let's see, Splunk is working fine. Status, Splunk is working fine. What is the directory ownership? It has Splunk. We'll go inside Splunk, check. Yeah, everything looks fine. We'll check Splunk version. Okay, Splunk version build is fine. So everything looks okay. So by doing this, we have installed Splunk in standalone environment where everything is on Splunk. All the components, search head, indexer, your customers, all those are not required because those are concept of distributed or uh, distributed and cluster, multi-cluster, single site, multi-site clustering environment concepts are there. So if you are using or learning, you need not to bother about uh, those things. Those things for now. As we move on to this series, I will explain you in detail about those components as well. So just keep in mind that you have installed everything on single server. it will work as a single dedicated machine. Also now Splunk works on 8000 port, as it is mentioned, 8000 port. Now what we need to do is we need to go to web directory. I will get, not web directory, web browser, and I will check. It has this is its internal IP. What is the public IP? So public IP, I will get it from my Google console environment. Google console, from the Google console I will get the public IP and access it from there. So got I got my IP address. The IP address is this, and I need to use 8000 port. Once I do that, it will prompt you with the login details, which you at the admin login password you need to uh, give username and password which you have set when you have installed Splunk. So the Splunk will look like this, and you have all the things what you want through this. You have admin access to it. All the components are installed over here, all the applications, default reports, default data sets, default dashboards, and this is you are set to use single instance or standalone Splunk for POC or learning purpose or any test environment. So I guess that's it about this deployment, standalone deployment, all in one, rather we can say all in one deployment, where you have installed Splunk on single server. Hope you have understood it well. If you have any confusion, anything, just let me know in the comments. Surely I will uh, get back to you with the suitable answers. And thanks for watching it, and also stay tuned with me for another a different kind of a deployment, where I am going to cover distributed environment, cluster environment, single site cluster, multi-site cluster. Also we'll talk about the cloud deployment as well. So thanks for watching the video. Have a great day.